Hello and welcome to QUIZZY Monday, Pinch Punch, first QUIZZY Monday of the month. And it might feel like this is a bit of a replay. Well, it might do if our final guest can get onto the stream. We have a cracking lineup of guests for you tonight. We've got Dave Bill, series champion of Series 3 of Only Connect, an Only Connect legend. And a big week amongst the Connections Online Quiz League. We've also got Paul and Bhagwan, who we saw this evening, unfortunately falling foul to the Apollos on Only Connect. And we should, hopefully, have Tim from the Apollos with us, but he's having problems connecting. So what I'm going to do is bring everybody onto stream right now. And then we'll just recap the fact that you can add comments, and we will be able to see your comments and bring them onto stream, like this one. Hot footage from Sean Wallace's quiz to be here. Well, thanks, Catherine. And if you are in Facebook, we're hoping that Facebook comments will work tonight. You will have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook to give permission for us to see your comments, and then hopefully we'll see your comments just like everybody else's and be able to bring them onto the stream. So, first up, we will bring Paul, Dave, and Bhagwan onto the stream. Hello, chaps.
Hi.
So we don't yet have Tim with us. He is battling manfully to overcome technology. Oh, would that were the case tonight, guys. Would the technology had let him down, but it didn't.
I thought you said man flu there.
That's what I was battling last time I was on QUIZZY Monday. So
yeah, you and me both, Bhagwan. Hopefully, we're both a little bit perkier than we were then, and good to see you back. Good to see you back, Paul. Saw you after the first match, and Dave, you're a recidivist on this show, so
Can't get
good
rid
to
of
see you. Can't get rid of you. Pete Howard says, "Show me the Monday," which that should be our new tagline. So yeah, while we wait for Tim to come in, we will. I guess let's start with. I was going to say let's start with Mastermind. If you guys watch Mastermind, just so that we don't do all the Only Connect chat before Tim comes on. What do we think of Mastermind tonight and the subjects and the play, Dave?
I quite like a couple of subjects. I always like when there's a couple of subjects on there where you can try and nab a few of the specialist answers without doing any revision. I got 3 on Harold Larwood and 4 on the Vicar of Dibley, so those were both couple of gettable ones. Less so on the Alan Hollyhurst and the paintings. So not those 2, not for me, as you probably know. But yeah, nice range. I thought there was a couple on the Harold Larwood. I mean, I think some people have mentioned on Twitter as well, for a specialist subject where one of the answers will be Douglas Jardine, perhaps isn't the most testing. But they've all got to be in there, yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, there are always going to be easy questions in Mastermind, but yeah, the captain of the Bodyline series and the guy who Larwood injured were kind of verging on sporting general knowledge, weren't they? But they have to be in there. Bhagwan, Paul, did you manage to catch it in the run up to your match?
I caught sort of the last 10 minutes of it just because I was too busy. But I felt quite bad for Critica, I think, because she went into the second round with a significant lead and sort of fell short on the general knowledge. So I did catch that. But I mean, the winner was Gary, I think his name was, a very good winner. So
when Gary's referred to himself as a quizzing nerd, and it's his fourth time trying to get on, as he mentioned in the chat afterwards. He's gone in there with a bit of a not so much an advantage, but he's gone in there, I think, knowing being better prepared than the rest.
Yeah. I had to say I felt sorry for Critica because she had a really good specialist subject round. It just didn't quite work for her.
Clive missed a trick by not using the no.
On Vicar and Dibley.
Would he use the clock of it, wouldn't he?
It would have done.
She got the first. I watched like Bhagwan the last 10 minutes or so, and Critica. She seemed. I think she got the first couple, or didn't she? She started quite well on the second round, and then just kind of, beating its nerves. I think as well. She got a couple wrong, and it took her off track. And trying to get 22, you thought quite early on this is going to be tough for her now.
I mean, Alison was the same. I mean, she rattled off the first sort of like 5 or 6, and then didn't get many after that. But, so I think she was looking good, and then you get a couple wrong, it sort of goes downhill, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, getting on a roll is crucial, isn't it? Really. Tim seems to be coming and going in the studio. I've had a message from him saying using new mic, going back to the old one. So clearly, is a tech fail. But hopefully, he'll be with us. Yeah, I mean, in the end, Gary was quite a comfortable winner, but I think halfway that the match was nicely poised, and I thought there's a really good spread of topics. You've got kind of sort of canon expansion literature, sort of gay literature. You've got sport. You've got modern TV, and then you've got a classic artist subject. There was a real spread of topics. I thought it was really good in that sense tonight. Interestingly, it stuck out to me, and I'm not sure what the equivalents were. Alison was asked a question about Fortnite and a tournament for Fortnite, and obviously that didn't fall well for her. But I'm thinking, what I couldn't think what the equivalents were for other people, whether there was really kind of tech pop culture stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, I got that right. I remember it being played at the same place. I think it's the same place that played the US Open, wasn't it? That did feel like it was an outlier.
I just to show that this works, I've just done a test, literally test. So that shows that I have posted from Facebook, as opposed to YouTube. So we're in this brave new world of broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook just to see how it goes. So a good episode. I think a little bit like University Challenge tonight. Perhaps not the closest competition as it turned out. I mean, UC was very, very one-sided. A little bit less one-sided Mastermind, and then closer in your match tonight. So I don't know.
I like to judge the Mastermind ones on how many I sort of get on the general knowledge ones. And I was 13, 14, 15, 16, so they're all sort of much of a muchness. Not necessarily in that order. There's 16 on Julian's, 14 on Gary's, 16 on Critic's, and 13 Alison's. So they seem fairly well balanced, but I don't think we're going to see. I don't think we've seen a contender in that heat. I think is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, it takes guts to get up there and do it, as it does with any TV show. You're putting yourself up for scrutiny. But not necessarily a winning score that'll set the world alight. But winning an episode of Mastermind is still quite something. So well done to Gary. Pam says hello. Catherine says Hi, Pam. I tell you what, the banter in the chat is scintillating tonight, guys. So let's hear what you had to say about Only Connect. We might as well crack on because Tim is still struggling to get in, and we'll hear what he has to say in a bit. But you guys won the first encounter between yourselves and the Apollos. Going into the rematch, were you thinking, okay, we've got something over them? You know, we kind of got the psychological edge, or were you just thinking, oh God, here we go again? You know, what was in your mind, Paul?
The latter. We played our second match, the previous match, on the same day, and suddenly it was kind of one of those whispers that was going around saying, I think we've got the Apollos next. And it was kind of, we've beaten them, we want to play someone else almost, really, because, and I think added to the fact that we knew this was last chance saloon for us. You know, the first and the second matches, we knew we had another match. But with this one, we knew once it, you know, if we lost, it was over. And it was all, but I suppose on the flip side, we did also think if we were behind in the final round, perhaps the same thing might happen. And I think, again, the nerves of that final round, and I know we'll probably get to it later, probably changed my perspective on how I went about it, because I felt we were chasing more than we were before.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back on it now, and you had a couple of buzzes that didn't come off. I mean, you were behind, so in a way you had to be aggressive, but did you feel kind of in hindsight, well, hindsight's 2020, but, you know, in hindsight, did you think you played it right? Would you play it the same way if you went at it again?
When I came off it, when we walked out of the studio, straight away I thought, oh no, what's just happened? Because obviously everything's buzzing around, and I thought there's at least two there that I've gone early on. Watching it back tonight, it didn't feel quite as bad because I at least got a couple right as well, which I couldn't remember because everything was overshadowed by what I didn't get rather than what I got. So it was a difficult one, but I think, it was the fact I felt we were chasing. I probably would do the same again, but maybe not on the Bleak House one.
Catherine is apologising for if her banter is below par. No, Catherine, don't worry. It was just a little joke, and it certainly wasn't a dig. But good to have you on here tonight, and good to have Tim with us. Hello, Tim.
Yeah, I had to change browsers. I tried Edge, then Firefox, and finally it's worked on Chrome. I have no idea why, but yeah. So what, you're talking about how you lost on Missing Valve, I think.
Well, I mean, we were just kind of chatting about feeling being back in the studio and the second time round for you guys. I just asked the Jukeboxers what their feelings were playing you again. You lost to them the first time round.
Yeah.
When you were told you were going to be playing Jukeboxers again, what was the team's feeling there?
Well, we thought we were going to lose again, to be honest with you. I mean, especially after the wall. We're only, was it with 3 points ahead? We thought we were going home now. We completely blown it. And we got a cut. We blew it on the last connection as well. We had apples instead of potatoes, and I got New South Wales instead of Victoria or something like that. And we really thought we'd blown this one. But we're as surprised as everyone else that we actually ended up winning.
But win it you did. And question-wise, now Dave, a couple of weeks ago, you were commenting about OC questions and feeling a little bit jaded, perhaps, by some of them. What did you feel tonight?
Very much infinitely better. I mean, I thought the last 2, maybe 3 weeks have been too much filler stuff that it's just been very, well, other ways, it's just there because it's there. Tonight, infinitely better, lots of good stuff. I particularly like the H2O. I think everybody like that. I think the primes was very clever. The primes within primes. I was shouting Forrest Gump after 2 clues. Yeah, that's right up my street, as you can imagine. I thought it. Well, I think as well tonight it did seem. It did seem a little bit easier than last week because I know there was last week. was it like no points scored in round 2?
Round 2, yeah, was an absolute blank for the first time ever.
Yeah. And I mean the Death in Paradise one. We had a similar thing in the Connections League, but we went for alternative roles. So we have Lord Featherington in Bridgerton, it's played by Ben Miller. Colin Frizzle in Love Actually, that's played by Chris Marshall. Father Declan, Father, what's his name?
Dougal Maguire.
Father Dougal, and then the last one we wanted, anything played by Ralph Little. So we've done that question in the Connections League, but taken it to sort of a little bit further as well. I like the IKEA question as well. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I knew it was like his name, and something to do with where he comes from. So I'd have probably been going for an answer and trying to blag it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I got it wrong tonight and I was there. Couldn't remember it.
But the memory fades, doesn't it? There's a lot of love in the chat for the H2O question. Pam saying she liked it. Emma saying it was amazing. Somebody else commented on it as well. I can't see it now, but yeah, a lot of love for that. Another one, I mean, skipping a little bit to round 2, but Tony Hand.
Yeah,
that wasn't the only one though, was it? I mean,
we actually thought it was an elbow rather than a knee. That's what threw us. Because you see the pictures much smaller than you do on TV.
Yes. That's true.
I mean, if you didn't know any better, you thought Rob Hanna had written all these, all the profanity. Rob loves a bit of profanity, but
well, that word was on your wall as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I've made notes and I've just written 2 words: cock obsession.
Victoria left that off with the wall, said, "I hope we're not mentioning too many cocks." Oh, but that was off air. Yeah.
So round 1, Jukeboxers. Any questions that you're pleased to have got or kicking yourselves for not getting? The ones that you had were the Strauss one, the Stars on Flags, and the opposites.
Strauss one, just
all of them.
Strauss. As soon as the cricket one came up, I don't know why, I watched that whole series when my boy was 1 year old. So he was up, I was holding him. I did the old fast forward ×6 for every over. Get up in the morning and watch it. I'd watch every day of the cricket in about 3 hours. I knew every member of that team. And when it came to being in the studio, I'm going Strauss or Vaughan was way back. And I just couldn't think. And as soon as the last one came up, it was like, well, of course it's Strauss. So gutted, kind of, could have got 2 more points on that one. So straight away, I was a little bit frustrated. Very first question.
I was the same as you. I knew the second one was Strauss, but I had nothing to put either side of it. So they could have all been jeans man. It could have all at that point. They could have all been jeans manufacturers, couldn't they? But,
yeah, could have been Wrangler and I don't know. Georgia Asda could have been all sorts. Tim, what about you in round 1? Any questions that particularly pleased you?
Not really. Just getting the water one. I don't think I was entirely. I think Rob finally polished it off. But yeah, not knowing that it was water. That it's obvious when you said off. But she still let us have it.
Yeah. And the music one eluded you all. There was a point when the Venga Boys came on. I thought Dave Bill is going to be kind of
up and down.
Going to be loving that one right up your alley. Up and down.
I got it for 2, but only because it was.
I think
it was
both me
and high and low, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, when me and Bhagwan both said that we've got that in our libraries, hunting high and low. I know it. I play AHA, and it literally I couldn't remember. And because obviously it's a round where you're suddenly going to focus on the next tune within another 5 seconds. Once that third tune came on, I'd forgotten the AHA one. So you're trying to go 4 or 5 lines ahead. And I just couldn't, for the life of me, work out it was hunting high and low.
Yeah.
That was very frustrating.
I could see the frustration on Bhagwan's face even now. It's like...
We're supposed to be the music team.
Yes.
but we know that not everything about Only Connect in terms of names is accurate. Although Pound Shop Gary Bushell was Paul.
Yeah.
Was
someone put a lot of effort into that. That came about after the Chase appearance. So, we all did the things. Bhagwan will verify as well. We all did the thing we're not supposed to do. We all went on Twitter when the Chase episode came on, and there was a lot going around. Yeah, sorry, Bhagwan. There was a lot going around, and literally through all these mostly decent comments, this comment came out, and I showed it to my family, and everyone just cracked up laughing. And it's a badge of honor. It's not an insult to me. Someone put a lot of effort into that. They could have just sworn about me. He actually called me, and not only Gary Bushell, a Poundland version. I think that's pretty good going.
I think the worst I got was he was at the back of the queue and we were giving the interesting names out.
Oh, harsh.
I think I got a Pound Shop comparison as well. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like Poundland Bruno Mars, which I'll take happily.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. Gary Bushell is the Pound Shop you. There you go.
Nice. Thank you.
You get the love from Gerard.
Just wait for a knock on the door from him. Or knock on the social media door.
This reminded me of the Russell Brand one when he called Nigel Farage a Pound Shop Enoch Powell.
Oh dear, I hate to think what Pound Shop character I would be. Let's move on to round 2 before we do ourselves any mischief. So yeah, we've already talked about the Tony Hancock, and in a way, kind of Victoria almost gave away if the team were umming and ahhing about whether cock was the answer.
Careful.
The way she said careful kind of gave it away. If you were flip-flopping between two of them, that might have been a giveaway. I mean, clearly, Tim, you guys have worked that one out, though.
Yeah. That's right. We knew it was cock before she said that, but
your restraint was yes. I think after the Series 10 cock and cock incident, I think you should have just felt free to just say it. But that wasn't a that was a moment. But any of the other, we talked about the IKEA one. And we've talked about the Tony Hancock and Death in Paradise and the Primes. I guess the other ones were almost kind of general knowledge-y, really, weren't they? They were the symphonies. As long as you kind of tune in that Patatique is a symphony. Yeah. And you guys went for chorale and picked up a bonus point, which was good. And then the other one was the degrees as well, which you picked up. I don't, as I say, compared to last week's round 2. I mean, I'm assuming you guys watched last week's show.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that thinking, "Oh, thank God we dodged a bullet," or when you watched your own performance of round 2, did you think actually, on the other hand, I might have done better last week? Paul, what do you think?
I think I remembered, watching last week's, I'm thinking, well, I don't think we scored 0 on a round, but we did only score 1 on the first round this time. But please, because I was trying to work out before the show was aired this time, particularly as we had 2 shows on the same day, what did we score in each round, trying to remember the scores. So when we got 1 on the first round, I did think, we've done okay on the second round, because I tried to then piece it with what we did on the wall before the final round. So to get 4 points on the second round, happy with 2 of our 3 correct. And I remember the prime numbers one being one that I knew early was something to do with prime numbers, and then the 3 of us kind of counting along, thinking we kind of know what it is, but not exactly. And I know, obviously, as Victoria said, we kind of got away with that one a little bit, because I felt for a time sensitive question, I felt that was kind of tough for us
to work out.
An awful lot to work out there.
Yeah, and at one moment I was thinking it was to do with darts or something like that at one stage. Am I going to overcomplicate it?
What I didn't like about that, it was very elegant, very well presented, but I didn't like that there was 5 in the first block, 5 in the second block, 4 in the third. I knew you were going towards the one with 2 prime numbers, but it just seemed like if you didn't know, you'd wonder why there was 5, why there was only 4 in that one. Yeah, but it worked out nicely, but it just didn't seem like it fitted perfectly.
I mean, we didn't get it either. That's what the secret about. So.
Yeah. I mean, it was quite. There was a lot to kind of work out. You know, the fact that each number was itself a prime, I think, was kind of almost a step beyond really what was doable. So, you know, credit to you to kind of pull that one out really in the time available. We've had a comment here just reminding us that Only Connect is like a box of chocolates. There was the Forrest Gump connection. Love that one. Yes, as soon as you put it together, it's all 4 people. All 4 things were done by the same person. Then that was a lovely one. That went to you, the Apollos, and you kind of danced around. You kind of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and Watergate, Deep Throat, all sorts of things, and you never quite settled on it.
I mean, Rob got it too late, didn't he? But yeah.
Gareth, I don't think we could have done Deep Throat after 2 Lots of Coke. Just saying.
Probably not. Not if they want to keep up their record, because there was a momentous thing that happened a week ago, 2 weeks ago, where Only Connect beat EastEnders in the ratings, which for a kind of little show that has moved from BBC 4 to BBC 2, that is quite something. I don't know if that's about time shifting and people, different habits changing, or whether just there's something now about or EastEnders being but I don't know. I mean, Bhagwan, Paul, particularly, what do you think is it that is the reason why Only Connect kind of captured the imagination of people in the way? I remember when it first broke 1 million. Now it's pushing towards 3 million on an episode. What is it about this bizarrely difficult and kind of esoteric little show?
I think it's the fact that if you can walk away getting one question right, then you feel quite good about yourself for a lot of people. So I don't know. And there's something about just sitting around the TV, like screaming the answer. Like, I'm sure there was many people screaming the word potatoes or cock even at the TV. So yeah. So it's I think it's just that sort of and I think just like with lockdown, a lot more people doing quizzes online and quizzes together as families and stuff. I think a lot more people are watching the QUIZZY Mondays on BBC Two. It's just everything's just probably gone up in that respect.
Yeah, more of a ritual. I mean, quizzes organised quizzes outside. It tends to be the same time every week. So I think people like to settle down. It's a Monday, maybe not too much going on if your team's not playing a Premier League game or anything like that, or whatever. That's what a lot of people are going to do. And there's 3 quiz shows in a row. And as Bhagwan said, with Only Connect, it leaves you wanting a bit more, because you get 1 or 2 right one week and you think, right, I'm going to go for this. And it is so wide ranging. I've had to explain to a lot of people who didn't know what the show was. It's very difficult to try and explain it to someone who's never heard of the show. But I kind of say it goes from anything from 1 minute classical music, children's TV, whatever, and there's something for everyone. So dip in, sit back, and don't expect to know it all. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think Victoria has a lot to do with that on our show.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, Dave, you've, like me, you've been watching it since pretty much day one, and you're involved since series 3. How have you noticed the show evolving over that period, or has it evolved? Has it pretty much stayed the same, and that's the secret of its success?
I think, not so much evolved. It's kept up the high quality. It's always been good, but it's kept up the high quality for such a long time. And that's what was upsetting me in the last couple of weeks when I noticed the drop. What I thought was the drop off in the questions. I'm like, I don't want this. I want it to keep going at that high bar. Yeah, because the questions are fabulous. The banter with Victoria is fabulous. The format's fabulous, and it's all it needs is more people to watch it, and it will be. It's gone from being a cult classic to being just a classic.
Yeah, very well said. Walls, Apollos. Tim, your wall was first.
Yeah.
talk us through it. Apart from the whole potato thing, which, as we said, you had a lot of people shouting. But how did you find the wall? It felt early on that there was a little bit of kind of scratching around to get your way into it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, Rob and Terry did most of the work. I'm not sure. I think we kind of stumbled on the answers, really. I got the poultry one quickly, but I had to kind of assert myself to try and get that group. But but we.
So you had.
We did have potatoes at one point, but we changed it for some reason when we saw garlic.
Yeah. I think Gala led you astray.
It did, yeah. We thought that must be a red herring for apples. It was, yeah.
There was a comment up here. How could anyone look at a wall with the word Foxy on for so long without thinking bingo? Gerard, that is an insight into your habits. Could have been Foxy Lady. Could have been Foxy Brown. It could have been a number of things. But yeah, once you spot it, it's.
I should have got it. I mean, there's a Mecca bingo around the corner from where I live. I go past it all the time. I should have got that one earlier.
I've been in far too many Mecca bingos. That's a whole different story.
Indeed. So we had the pit clue, we had potatoes, we had bingo, and we had things related to chickens, with cock being the red herring.
Yeah, we took a while. It's usually the most obvious one, which is the red herring. We should have left that out initially.
Jukeboxers, how would you have done on that wall?
I'd have got potatoes early, I think.
I would have got the bingo ones.
The bingo as well, yeah. I'm not sure about the pit one. I think it might have come. I think
Laura's quite good with the word ones. I think she probably would have caught on that one. Yeah.
It's similar, probably similar. And obviously we didn't know, as you don't know what the other team scored, so they did go first, and we didn't know. As we've done every time, we've assumed the other team scored 10.
Yeah, and they hadn't. They'd got 7, which is an interesting thing. Emma's put in. Both walls were very close to running out of time. You guys really did a Hail Mary on your wall right at the end there. It just kind of. Was it your 3 guesses? It just came through.
I must admit, watching it tonight, I thought when we got the one, and it seemed like about 20 seconds left, I thought maybe we didn't finish it, because I thought
I completely forgot.
But I remember at the end, the only reason I got it at the end was I think I'm going to pick the 4 names. The 4 things that look like surnames, I'm just going to put those down, because Skywalker, I mean, I'm going to take that to the grave, because my middle boy is an absolute Star Wars geek. So I came home, and obviously you can't say too much about things, but I said, I've got 4 names for you, gave him the 4 names, and literally, as I got to the 3rd name, he went Star Wars pilots. And I went, there you go. I should have sat down and watched more with you.
I've had so much grief about that. So many messages saying, "Why didn't you get it?"
There was more obvious clues to put in than Hawkins, but I mean, I'd have been looking for something like Wedge Antilles or something.
Well, and Antilles was a red herring there, though, wasn't it? Because Antilles was in a different group. None. I have no idea who that is, because Hawkins is. There's been a lot of flack because he's the large guy in the original Star Wars one who ends up getting killed, and so the pork kind of thing has always been an unfortunate name. Poe Dameron, that's Oscar Isaac's character. So it was. There'll have been a lot of geeks watching that tonight, shouting,
Indeed.
And by the sounds of Bhagwan, messaging as well. So
I was shouting at myself, to be fair. When you're there, it's different, isn't it? So,
it is. You picked up the football one, or the connection quite early, and managed to pick it up.
I'm glad I got that, because that one I wouldn't have lived down if I hadn't got it. But it was like, I think there's 6 of these. So I felt a bit slower starting this time. I think Laura had mentioned the group. I sort of started rallying around all the time I could see. There were football teams, and I kind of wanted to quickly get to that, because I thought I can get this, and that took a little while to get those as well. But it was a process thinking, well, they're definitely football teams. I know there's red herrings, but I've just got to find 4. Yeah. The sooner I do, the better.
And the beautiful red herring there was Inter, because that net connection, as soon as the penny dropped on that, and it's like, okay, now you're into sorting out those last two sets, and that was, Fastnet, Hairnet, Internet, Magnet. It kind of, you could just almost see the cogs turning in your heads. It was a fantastic get. And Pam is a very mild-mannered woman, but she loves the birds. And I was shouting lesser spotted woodpecker, of course. She does love her birds. So yeah, you managed to solve it. You managed to get 7 points. Going into missing vowels, 3 points in it. Bearing in mind what happened in the first game, Tim, were you worried that it was going to be history repeating itself?
Definitely, yeah. I really thought we were going home after that, because we were 5 points ahead in our first match with you, and then we still, no, it's 4 points. We ended up losing by 5, and then we're only 3 points ahead. So I thought, yeah, that's it. We're going to lose. I really was surprised when she announced the scores. I really thought, that one. You were very unlucky, definitely. You probably end up being the most unlucky team in the whole series, actually.
We'll have that as a tagline.
And I think that the way the draw was arranged, it was effectively 4 groups of 4 in the heats, 4 separate groups of 4. Groups are stronger than others. We were definitely in one of the stronger groups, we say.
The group of death.
Yeah, that's what Terry called it, the group of death. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it certainly provided us with some good entertainment and some tight matches, and the final score, there was still 3 points in it, but for a couple of, we were talking earlier, Paul, your tactics buzzing in. It was clearly you'd seen the first part of the answer, and were hoping you would get through the rest of the answer, or it would come to you by the time you kind of got there, and it didn't work out a couple of times.
No, we started okay. I got a couple at the beginning. We were getting a few, and then now I've seen it. I've likened the bleak house question. I've likened it to Shane Warne losing the Ashes when he dropped the ball in 2005. Shane Warne dropped the Ashes, and I think at the time it felt rawer. But the thing is, I buzzed in early to get a couple right, and I buzzed in early to get a couple wrong, and that's how the cookie crumbles. A
couple of things for me on the missing vowels. I mean, I was wondering where we're getting the 4th bucket from. Yeah, I thought it was. Okay, I'm going Charlie bucket, I'm going Hyacinth bucket. Yeah, but then all of a sudden, they're throwing the husband as well. So I thought that was a bit. Is there another one? I don't know. It seemed like a bit of a cop out, if not. I've just sent Gareth a message. If you'd like to put it in the chat, it's up to you, Gareth. It is quite profane. The one thing I wanted to look at was the remainder of the parliamentary language.
Oh, indeed. So
I have just sent you, not for public consumption now, it's up to you. You're more than welcome to put it on the stream if we wanted to.
Well,
but, there are some absolute beauties.
There are some words. Okay, I think we can probably edit. Maybe people could put comments in the chat of words they think are unparliamentary.
Without the vowels.
But without the vowels. Coward is one. Doddy is one. Drunk. You're not allowed to say somebody's drunk. You've got to find a euphemism for that.
Highly emotional.
Git. I mean, gutter snipe. I can think of. That's such a common word around my area. What else have we got? Slimy is unparliamentary. So squirt. I can think of contexts where these words are particularly useful, like tart. In the parliamentary canteen there is a nice jam tart. I don't know. So there are some words in there that you can see why they are swear words, but deceptive. It is interesting, isn't it? It would have been lovely to see what came out of that, Dave, because.
When they cut it off, I thought, I'm going to have to have a look, because I was intrigued to find out what else.
I could think of stool pigeon, gutter snipe, ignoramus, pipsqueak.
The one that made for me, honestly, was just liar. You can't physically call somebody a liar in Parliament.
No, you have to talk about misleading the House, don't you? You can't.
It's too obvious.
Yeah. Catherine, a little bit of politics. Truth is unparliamentary. Certainly is nowadays, Catherine. Yes, so that was that was an unfortunately missed subject, and we had Alex McMillan on, one of the setters, last week, and he was talking about, when a set pops up and then doesn't really get used, it's like, from the setter's point of view, they feel it's a waste, and it's like, could it be recycled in some way? But probably not.
There were fewer questions in R1 this time because we'd taken longer to answer. In our first match, we had probably 4 or 5 categories because we'd both finished our wall early. And I noticed this time, I remember at the time thinking, as soon as I'd got my one wrong or 2 wrong, we haven't got much time to get this back. And there were fewer questions this time.
Yeah, and that always used to be the case, that the amount of time spent on the wall dictated how many missing vowels there were. Then they stopped doing that and just had a regular number. And now it seems it is back, which brings back the tactics of wall stall.
We talk long and hard.
We did talk about that ourselves, so we never actually applied it. But don't get the wall too early. But we didn't anyway. So
but it's interesting to know it's back. So congratulations, Tim and the Apollos. We get to see you again.
Yeah.
Paul Bhagwan, we don't, sadly. We've enjoyed watching you. You've been very entertaining.
You're one of the teams, I think.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have you back on QUIZZY Monday anyway, just as interested observers rather than players in the future. For now, I'm just going to pop you all off the stream whilst we do the Quiz Week update. And then I'll bring you back and we'll finish off the show by looking at University Challenge. And we'll talk about what people's champagne moment of the day has been. One of the champagne moments, Tim getting his camera and mic working. But we will catch up in about 5 minutes. So time to replenish your drinks, nip to the loo whilst I talk about the world of quiz. So this week's Quiz Week. Starting off, we have the winner of Quiz of the Week and Quiz Team of the Week. And the winner of Quiz of the Week will probably surprise nobody that it was Tom Adams who won the Pop Culture Challenge this week. Superb performance by Tom. Jeffrey Seguritan from America and Victoria Gross from America both came second and third. Quiz Team of the Week was Broken Hearts for their performance in the Quiz League of London. Super Nintendo Charmers of the OQL USA came second, and Gertrude Perkins, a occasional team for their performance in the charity quiz in rugby, came third. So congratulations to all of those. You can nominate players for Quizzer of the Week and Quiz Team of the Week for any performance from tonight through to 5 o'clock next Monday. Send your nominations into tinyurl.com/ATQ nominations. As for other stuff that's been going on All Things Quiz, we've been doing our What is the Question? It was Black History Month in October, so we had Black and then History, and the last answer in need of a question was month, and the winner was what 5-letter word can have its middle letter rotated to leave you with a food lover or removed to leave you with a light lover, and that's what was by Mike Park from our friends at the Contestant Hub. So congratulations to Mike. The latest answer in need of a question is ball. We've had a bunch of questions sent in, really good questions. You can now vote from the initial long list to find our short list at tinyurl.com/WITQ ball. So please go ahead and vote for that. A reminder that we did some previews of the Pop Culture Challenge. We had 3 videos. There's one on advice on playing Mimir, which is really some good advice from the finalists. We've got other videos queued up to be finished, not least the Quiz Omnium 3. They will be coming out fairly soon, I hope. So look out for other videos for us. Don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube if you like what we do. That will help other people to find us. People like you, people who like quizzes. So please do that. So I think for now, I'm just going to talk about what's been happening in the world of quiz and in the Connections Online Quiz League. Last night, we saw Crabs beating the Odd Thruple to win the tournament. Fantastic performance by Crabs to basically defend their title in the only Connect format quiz competition, Connections Online Quiz League. Brilliant team play, but outstanding buzzing once again from Emma Laslett. So Crabs get a nomination, Emma Laslett, for taking the game away from the odd thruple in that final round, gets a nomination as well. In the American version of Connections Online Quiz League, Wednesdays beat Bays, so congratulations to them. They get a nomination. In OQL, there were full houses for Paul Colotti, Victoria Gross, and Peter Hall. They got nominations. And for team nomination, Lovecraft in a Time of Cholera had a 56-49 win over the Wigton Warriors. In the Quizzing World Cup, well, the tables haven't been updated for a while, so my arbitrarily selected team of the week is Motley Crue for their high-caliber mid-table win over the very stable Geniuses. In QLL, there were 3 full houses last week. Ian Toms got 17-8, Mark Eves 21-8, and Vincent Bright got 24-8. Team performance of the week, well, there were 2. Division 1's bottom team, Pineapple, won 53-46 over the reigning champions Nomads, and Bishop's Fist, bottom of Division 4, got their first win since the 2019-20 season. So congratulations to them for their nominations. In Brain of London, round 1, the top scorer was Jenny Ryan of the Chase fame. She top scored in a tubless match with 20 points. Congratulations to Jenny. In OQL USA, there were no full houses, but Patrick McKinney, Jeffrey Seguritan, and Alexandra Wax all got 7-2s and nominations. The newly formed Irish Quiz League completed its second week, and a tribe called Cheast were the big winners. They get a nomination. And Mimir's Well saw Tim Polly and Yogesh Rout both get 14 out of 15 of their own questions and get nominations. And finally, from the competitive quizzing world, in QB League, I Dream of Genie Coefficients had a fantastic win over Giles' Seed Feedipus. I can't say on my thing what the score was, but it was the highest aggregate match and the highest winning score. In Brain of Britain, Dave McBrien won his 4th semi-final with a 5-point winning margin. So congratulations to Dave. He gets a nomination. Final Brain of Britain is on next week. And we've seen what happened in Mastermind with Gary winning Mastermind, St. John's winning University Challenge, and the Apollos winning Only Connect. So if we go to a recap of the nominees, they are Vincent Bright, Paul Colotti, Mark Eves, Victoria Gross, Peter Hall, Emma Laslett, Dave McBrien, Patrick McKinney, Tim Polly, Yogesh Rout, Jenny Ryan, Jeffrey Seguritan, Ian Toms, and Alexandra Wax all get nominations for Quiz of the Week. And nominations for Quiz Team of the Week are A Tribe Called Cheast, Bishop's Fist, Crabs, I Dream of Genie Coefficients, Lovecraft at Time of Cholera, Motley Crue, Pineapple, and Wednesdays. The vote is open now. You can vote at tinyurl.com/QW01NOV. Voting closes on Sunday at 8 o'clock in the evening. So that's tinyurl.com/QW01NOV. And don't forget, you can get nominations in at tinyurl.com/ATQ nominations. So I think that is it from Quiz Week. Congratulations to everybody who's been nominated and had fantastic performances. We look forward to seeing who wins this time next week. So now, back with Quizzy Monday, and welcome back to the stream, Paul, Bhagwan, Dave, and Tim.
Yeah.
Dave, you've been involved in Connections Online Quiz League as a host. Some of the quizzing that we've seen has just been absolutely phenomenal. And if anybody watches the final of the British version of it, you will see horrendously difficult missing vowels or only consonants, as they're called, to avoid breaching copyright. But I mean, Emma Laslett was just tremendous, wasn't she?
Emma's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, she's one of the big names to come out of. I mean, she was a good quizzer before, but one of the big names to come out of lockdown with an enhanced reputation, shall we say?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see where she goes from here. It's yeah.
I mean, her team are superb anyway. But you know, the team they're up against was Paul Sinha from the Chase, John Wilson, who's been on Only Connect, great Merseyside quizzer, and Lindsay Baumeister, who's been on this show a good number of times. You know, these were no mugs, and it was just a phenomenal performance.
They cover a lot of bases as well. I mean, if you said John, Lindsay, and Paul, what are they not going to cover? I mean, I don't think there's a great deal, from being honest.
Yeah. So there will be another running of Connections Online Quiz League.
Starting on the 14th of February, my friend.
14th of February. If you want to find out more about it or sign up, there's a Facebook group for it, Connections Online Quiz League, or you go to quizcentral.net. And I have to say, I played it this season for the first time, and it is just joyous playing Only Connect over the internet with like-minded people. It's just superb without the camera on you.
We did it as well.
We did it as well, yeah.
With mixed results, but we really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I think the difference between Only Connect and the COQL is I think we have a little bit more fun with the questions. I think especially round 4. Some of the things.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we've come up with. I think one of the ones from last week that made me chuckle was the books with the capital cities in. With the titles. I mean, I think that was just written so we could get him down and out in Brussels and Brussels. I mean, Answer Smash, what was it? Philosophers and African Mammals.
Yes.
Soren Kierkegaard.
Yeah.
We were a big fan of the Bart Simpson calling up the Mouse Tavern. Was that you,
Dave? So we can wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody who hasn't played it. When somebody says, shell out, what is it, 50 quid a person, something like that to play, you might think, well, that's a bit stiff. But the technology and the quality of the questions, it's so worth it.
And I think behind the scenes, I mean, we've got a team of a dozen hosts who have all been well trained on this software, and obviously Rob and Will and John behind the scenes pulling all the strings. We've got it out of fine. I mean, I played the first season and loved it, but I just had that many ideas. I said to John, I said, right, I want to set up the next season, and he said, yeah, no problem. So.
Yeah,
I think with us, I can't speak for Bhagwan, but I think if we'd have done the Connections Online Quiz League first, I might not have applied for the show. It took a while to win a match. Let's just say that.
There are lots of very experienced teams.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
What are we on now? Is this 16? Are we on series 16?
17.
17.
Wow.
Yeah. So Pam says we played the final as set as a friendly last night. Aced the wall, but struggled with the consonants. Seeing Paul Sinha and his team make light work of that wall last night was quite something.
That wall was both basically a work of genius and maybe what can vomit at the same time. Wow.
Yeah.
I think that was a Frank Paul creation.
Well, that explains a lot.
Which won't surprise anybody.
So closing off tonight, University Challenge. St John's had come through a first round defeat by 5 points and then a high scoring losers victory by 5 points. Tonight they put down a marker, I think, to the rest of the competition that they are a team to be reckoned with. Chan, their captain, is a brilliant player. It was never close. So in a sense, it wasn't terribly exciting, but there was still quite a lot to like about it. Tim, did you watch University Challenge tonight?
Unfortunately, I didn't have time. I was too busy booting up my computer. So sorry.
Okay, that's not a problem. Anybody else? Any questions or aspects of the game that stood out?
I was about to say what you said. It was the Chan show. He's absolutely. I was watching him and he was guessing. Is it this? I'm like, you know the answer. You're going. His full modesty needs some work, I think. But
but he also plays with percentages because his last buzz on violin is like somebody buzzed in with cello, and it's like if you're going to name a virtuoso on an instrument, go for violin. It's a percentage guess, and he was right, and that was just good quizzing. Bhagwan and Paul, did you catch any of UC tonight?
I didn't tonight. No,
I didn't either.
Unfortunately,
okay.
Really busy.
No worries. So you didn't miss much of a contest. We've had some exciting contests in recent weeks. this wasn't one of them, but it was a really good performance by St John's. There were a number of things that were good about it, but teamwork was really good. There was one point where somebody, they were floundering on a question about horror monsters, and somebody said, "Oh, who did Cthulhu?" And it's like Lovecraft, and they were in. And Ouyang, a couple of really good interjections from her for Chan. Clearly, the teamwork is good with that team.
There was a couple where they went the wrong way down the 50-50. It was I think the Annie and Caps one was the wrong one.
Yes.
Yeah, where he's got two answers from his two teammates, and he's just. That's the worst scenario as a captain, just picking the wrong one, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and in a way, there was FIFA World Cup was almost kind of sort of classic pub quiz territory of and it just didn't fall for him. It's not the sort of stuff perhaps that comes up in Quiz Bowl, but yeah.
I as we're not supposed to, looked on the Twitter streams, and when people complained about, here's a music round, it's on ballet. It was like, that wasn't the most popular thing, I don't think.
No, but I mean, it wasn't willfully obscure when you've got Sleeping Beauty and you've got Petrushka by Stravinsky. It was, I thought it was an accessible episode. Although Raindrop Prelude was a hell of an answer from Deal as a buzz. That was superb.
I think my favourite, the quick buzz, the one that I thought was really good was Deus Ex Machina from McGill.
Yes.
Which 3-word Latin phrase. Well, I think he's gone bang have that. And I think one of the other things I noticed on Twitter was Uthaya Kumar needs to get a few more starters because Roger Tilling hasn't earned his money yet this week.
we do like seeing Roger Tilling struggling with names. But yeah, it was, it was St John's. They won very, very comfortably. Was it 220 to 45? This was a shellacking, I think we would say. And I think you have to look at St John's now and think, this is a team that's hit their stride, and this is a team that's got an opportunity to do well in the tournament now.
One thing I wanted to ask you about as well, I've only found out about it this week. Somebody on Twitter is running Fantasy University Challenge.
Yes.
Where you pick 4 players from across the series.
Wow.
And they're allocated points, and you get £20 million to spend. Mr. Chan tonight was he's valued at 9.6 million, so you'd need three.
Mo Salah.
Yeah, he's. I think John Robinson was about the same. There are a couple over the 10 mark. I thought, it's quite an interesting way to do things.
I think it's a really. It's a fun contest. I've not played it, but I think, Chan, I think he's a steal at under 10 million. But I think that there's a few virtuoso captains in this tournament, and he's one of them. There's not really a huge amount more to say about tonight's UC. Sometimes we like to see the ebb and flow of a game. This was just, I wouldn't say flat track bullying. I'm kind of using all my cricket metaphors, but it kind of was.
It was round 2, wasn't it? So they obviously got some skills to get there.
But I think Paxo made a comment at the start about how Queen Mary had won, but they'd won with a low score, almost as if it was kind of preparing the ground for it. And it was like, you got here, but there were plenty of teams who lost with higher scores. Fair play to them. They went on, they performed, they put themselves up for scrutiny, as we said at the start of today's show. And they got to second round, and plenty of teams didn't. So congratulations to them, but congratulations to St John's. Champagne moment, chaps. For whatever reason, personal, that you did well, or something you enjoyed watching, favorite question. What was your champagne moment? Dave, let's start with you.
2 for me. My favorite question of the night, I think a lot of people will agree, was the H2O. And when the giveaway line, the dehydrated bodies of water. I thought that was very nice. Personally, the flip side of it, the Death in Paradise question, I do think that my question was better than theirs. We'd gone down a different route, but with the same sort of answer.
Okay. All right, Tim, how about you?
The Tony Hancock has to be.
I did like that, but you know, points removed for copping out on not saying the word cock.
I had one thing written down for the Tony Hancock question where it was, don't know, great question, but that's impossible to get for 5 points.
No.
Yeah, because even if you think this is going to be
Tony Blackburn was the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
So.
But nice nonetheless. Different type of question, bit of sense of humour, like that one.
Yeah.
Paul, how about you?
If it's 2 things from tonight's one, I think us managing to complete the wall, having seen it now and thinking it seemed impossible with 20 seconds. And to be honest, without being too gushy, it was just having another great experience with my 2 teammates. I thought it was, and it was just so sad at the end that we couldn't carry it on, but we had 3 goes, and I'm sure we'll all never forget it. It's great.
Yeah. Get you back for a special.
Well, no, not teams back for the more popular teams back for specials. So hopefully you'll get one of those.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. We will try. I tell you.
keep badgering Jenny till it happens. I'm still going. Bhagwan, how about you?
Hearing the Wenger boys on Only Connect. I mean, that was a highlight. No, I have to say, I think it was. I completely forgot that we managed to get the wall done right in the last sort of second. So that I think we can sort of 2 out of 3 walls that on our 3 episodes. I think we can walk away, feeling quite proud of ourselves, and that we gave everything a really good shot, and was with a very good team as well. So.
Yeah, no, I think you can leave with your heads held high. You played really well and you entertained, and at the end of the day, it's both a competition and it's entertainment, and you tick both those boxes. So yeah, and hopefully there will be a special where the Jukeboxers will play the Wurlitzers or something. I don't know. They'll find some sort of way of getting you back on.
Have looser connections.
I don't know what my champagne moment was. I think it might have been the Forrest Gump question. Just because in hindsight, it's it's like, of course it is. So it might well be that. I'm also a sucker for flag questions, so I did quite like the stars on flags because I like my flags. But yeah, just an entertaining show, and another great night of Quizzy Monday action. So just having a look, see if there are any more. I've just seen a private message, which I will not reveal. But indeed, that will be news. Watch Quizzy Monday and find out at some point in the future. Anyway, no, I know. Lips are sealed. So yes, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Paul and Bhagwan, for coming on. Not always easy to come on when you've lost a match, but it's been really good having you on. Tim, you made it in the end. Thank you very much for coming on. Beating the technology.
Good luck.
And good luck for the next round, or best of retrospective luck. Dave, thanks as ever for coming on. You're a busy man, and we really appreciate you making time to come on. Catherine's asked. Catherine loves her chase. Catherine asked Paul, which chaser do you face?
We face the governess.
It was the governess, yeah.
So there you go, the governess, and you won.
Yeah, the 3 of us got 20 points. We got $4,000 each, so it was spent by the time we got home. We all said it. But, it was. It brought the 3 of us together, so it was a good go all around.
Brilliant, and that is how your team formed, and it's brought good things out of it, which is great. Aside from the money, Catherine says thanks in the chat for that. So yeah, thank you so much to you guys for coming on. Thanks to everybody who's watched and commented. Thanks if you subscribed for the first time tonight. We really do appreciate that. Don't forget to look out for Lunchtime Quiz Time on Twitter every day from 12 till 2. Don't forget to vote for Quiz of the Week and Quiz Team of the Week. And don't forget to vote in the What is the Question vote. All of those votes are now live. You can get your votes in and determine who is the winner. And we will be announcing the What is the Question winner on Saturday, I think. And the winner of Quiz of the Week and Quiz Team of the Week will be announcing on Monday. And we'll be back next week. I think we've got a guest from St. Catherine's from University Challenge. Other than that, I'm not sure who we've got coming on. So look out for announcements on that in the coming week. But until next week, have a wonderful week, and we will see you again soon. Goodbye.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Cheers.